going on, everybody? This is Zach from Fish Store and More, and I'm coming back to you after 8 months of not posting. Give you another quick update on what's going on in Zach's Fish Store and More, in the farm. There's a lot of stuff going on in this tank, and everything behind me. So, without further ado, let's get inside and show you the update on my display tanks. So, in my fish room, I have 3 display tanks. I got 2 75s on each end of my TV. And then on behind my couch, I got this 40-gallon. This 40-gallon serves as a grow-out tank. This is our cold water fish tank. And this right here is my tropical tank. And Merry Christmas to all of y'all if you're watching it during the holiday seasons. But this tank is home to a pair of angelfish that reproduce for me. We got gouramis, 6 rainbow fish. I believe there's like 7 or 8 of these white tetras. We got clownfish in here. We got probably like 32, 24 corydoras. And since the last video, you probably remember the baby plecos. We've caught them all out, but one stayed in there. I don't know how he's still in there. He pops out every now and then. But last video you saw, it was basically just bare bottomed. We might have had a few plants, but we were just getting the fish in here. Since the last time you see me 8 months ago, we've put plants in here. There's Anubias back here. We got ferns in the front, and then we got our cut plants, which I've removed a lot of, and I'll show you what I'm doing with them. We also have this carpeting plant and this clover looking plant. Getting ready to breed these rainbow fish. And to breed these gouramis, we just got to set it up in our breeding facility, and we'll have those going. But these angelfish reproduce in here. What they do is they'll spit eggs on these leaves, and we'll take the leaves out, and I'll show you the process I have in my breeding room. But we're reproducing these angelfish at a rapid rate, and they are breeding with masses of like 40 babies at a time. But I'll give you some close-ups on this tank so you can see it. But it still ran off of the fluval filter. Just a regular heater with a couple air bubbles. In the fluval filter we have lava rocks and filter floss media. And we usually just clean the filter when we're cleaning the tank. So crystal clear water, it comes with plants and cleaning your filters. Let me give you some close-ups on this tank right here so you can see what it looks like. And I'll go ahead and show you the cold water tank next. So like I said, this is my tropical tank. Some of like 7 or 8 white tetras, 6 of the rainbows. We got about 7 of the gouramis in here, 2 clown loiches, and a bunch of corydoras, as well as these pair of angelfish that breed in this tank. But next is the cold water tank. Is the cold water fish tank. It's home of arandus, a couple fantails, and this koi that we're growing out for my stock tank. But if you look at the plants in this fish tank, you'll notice that they're different style than my last tank. What you see in this tank is a bunch of crypts. We also have a lotus, and that's a really large crypt. We also have some cut vine plants in the corners. But majority of this tank is all crypts. And if you look up crypt tanks, if you try to figure out how to grow these plants here, you'll realize that it's not as easy as it might look in my fish tank. We use a lot of fertilizer in here. It's a lot of oxygen in this tank, slow moving water. This tank is really good for these crypts. I actually moved them out of this tank into this tank because of this one right here was taken off, and there was a few other ones that were really good. So I removed a lot of the crypts from my other tank, and they're just doing way better in this tank. But it's home of really large orandas, this oranda from Japan, the koi that we're growing out, and we also have in here these pleco caves all along the bottom which serve as breeding areas for my bristlenose plecos. So I also breed plecos that are about yay size that are good for all tanks. These ones that are breeding in this tank are coming out albino. We got some with blue eyes, some with patterns. So we already have the batch going for another breeding pair that are younger than these ones, and hopefully we get more albinos out of that. But yeah, if you have my socials at NMFishGuy7, make sure you hit me up for those angel babies, for the catfish that I'm about to show you, for the bristlenose plecos that I breed. And just a real quick showcase of the tank. So as you can see, the fluval filter and the C-cam along with the power filter, and you don't need a heater in cold water for the goldfish, but that's what's going on in this tank. We got our Orandas, a couple fantails, a koi, and the breeding pleco facility is going on in this tank. So hit me up for those bristlenose plecos. But next, I'm gonna walk over here. We're gonna show you what I do with all of my clippings. This is my stock tank. It has a beta and a few Danios that I don't want to put in there because I'd like for these Danios to spit some eggs in this tank. Simple aquarium, plants, low stock. I need to replace these lights with this kind of light. And then you can see that beta going around. But I'll give you a close view on these plants. And they're all beginner phase plants. They've all just been trimmed. So they don't look as good as they want. But when I do sell these plants, I'm able to take them from the roots. So I'm not taking clippings and selling them. I'm actually selling full rooted plants. So let me give you that close up on this tank, and then we'll get to the breeding facility area. Real quick before we get into the stock tank and my breeding area, let's show you my frogs. There's 3 of them in here. You can see the waterfall runs. Pretty big dude. We feed them live crickets, and we got this little humidifier that runs for them. But as you can see, the humidity level is high, so I really don't need to do that. There's my frogs. Right beside it we have a stock tank. This actually has the other pleco pairs from the last batches that we're hoping to get more albino crosses out of. We have some live plants in here. It's only ran by one sponge filter and a heater because we do a lot of water changes in this kind of tank. But it really only has plecos. I'm planning on getting shrimp in here and other kinds of species, so we can do more than just breeding plecos in this tank. But for right now, it's just home to a breeding pair of plecos. Over here we have a tank that's set up and ready to grow out fish. A tank ready to set up and grow out fish. We got one down here ready to set up and grow out fish. This tank's ready to set up and grow out fish. This one is another pond-like structure, so it has a ground and it has water. So if I want to rehome a lizard and sell a lizard or tarantulas, etc., that's what that's for. This tank right here has this blue tint because we're using medication on fish eggs in this tank, so it stained the glass a little bit. This right here is my stock tank. It's actually ran very simply. And my next video hopefully should be explaining the ins and outs of this stock tank and what it actually does and how it runs and why I'm able to keep really crystal clear water with minimum to almost no filtration involved. This is stock tank, has 4 turtles. If you remember from my last video, I only had 3. This guy right here, this big one that you can see, I caught him out fishing on a piece of shrimp, and he's stuck with me ever since. There's some sponge filters, and like I said, it's ran off of a pump into a bucket that flows into this 100-gallon tank and goes right back into the 300-gallon tank. So I'm going to give you a better angle while I'm still kind of explaining what's in this tank. Like I said, we have 4 turtles, the red ear slider, the yellow belly, and then we have 2 other turtles in here. It's both, I believe, red ear sliders, but they told me that they were yellow bellies when I bought them. We have the jewel cichlids. We have a polar cichlid in here. Those are just the last of what was left with my breeding population. So that was the boy that would lay me eggs, and that is the boy that would lay me eggs. And their genetic breed is all sold out, and that's all I have left of them. So that they'll live the rest of their life out in the 300-gallon, and they'll be just fine in here for the remainder of their lives. We also have a goldfish, some koi fish, a really large pleco, and if you can see those, we got about 23 of these channel catfish swimming along this pond that will eventually have to upgrade this pond because these channel catfish will grow very large. But you could see the tube running from a pump into this bucket. This bucket is easily disattachable, so I could show you what's in it. Nothing. But in here we have bio balls, a sponge, and a little bit of filter media that we can remove and keep this pond filtered with. But it's just this. Let me see if I can show you. It's basically just this pump throwing water into this bucket to filter it, into this tank to cure it, and into that for crystal clear water. And this tank is home of the Oscars, which I apparently have scared the absolute bejeebus out of because they are just laying on the floor. But that is the stock tank. These Oscars are actually a breeding pair. They give me eggs every now and then. Because it's the winter, we aren't expecting any very soon. Because they like warmer temperatures and it's hard to keep it with just a couple heaters going. Anyways, that was just a really quick update of the 8 months that have gone by and me not posting. So I just wanted to put the video out there to show you guys kind of what I was doing. If I can get on track to post more videos for y'all, which leave a like, subscribe. The more you guys subscribe and leave likes and comments, the more I want to get these videos out so I can actually make this a thing. We will show you how exactly I do everything in this stock tank, how you can have one of these at home. It's very easy. The stock tank only costs about $300. You don't need the other stock tank. That's about $120. The buckets you can get from anybody. All you really need to buy is the pump, something to hold water, and a bucket. And I'll teach you how to run one of these systems for yourself with almost any fish. And it's way more recommended than having tanks. I recommend you just get into your stock tank business. But that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment for what you guys want to see. I still want to get those dog training videos out to you guys. We also have the rabbit thing. So please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment so I can get more videos out to y'all. Peace.